Do you have a story ever of when you've hooked up with somebody you met on an app and it was like a disaster or something that you could share with us?
Yes. I really had to think hard too. But first, let me tell you this. When you said earlier that you always are nervous because you have to go past your doorman to their doorman and then go to their house. I always get really nervous about what your doorman think about me when I come to your house.
My particular doorman or doorman in general?
Yeah. Well, your doorman in general.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah. Well, I did find out they're all from this place called Montenegro. Interesting.
Oh.
And that's where 007, somebody just told me this whole thing. They filmed, one of the James Bond was from Montenegro, and they're all secretly from that place, Montenegro. My neighbor told me this.
Oh.
Anyway, that's all I can tell you. Sorry, I'll tell you offline a little bit more, but go ahead. Tell us about your story.
All right. So to Aaron's point, my hookup story, my worst hookup story comes from being comfortable during the hookup, right? So I go to hook up with this guy, and we were on the app. He is super attractive. He's got it all going on, body, face. He's a 10, but he did not tell me that he had a boyfriend. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. The boyfriend was not there. However,
I need a sip of my cocktail real quick. Okay, go ahead.
Say what?
I had to take a sip of my cocktail because I was getting anxiety.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, he had a boyfriend, and he wanted to FaceTime the boyfriend while we had sex. So that was already strict. I know. It was crazy. So,
did he ask you?
Well, when I got to his house, he asked me.
Oh.
So I got really nervous, and I got really uncomfortable, and I just I couldn't perform. I couldn't get it up, unfortunately. And it was one of the only times
is this your 20% moment where you were the top?
Well, he was 100%.
Bottom?
So it wasn't going down. So I was too nervous because I couldn't.
Was there a press release? Did you sign away that there should have been hair and makeup, lighting should have been talked about. These are really important things when you're going to be on camera. You don't just show up. Right? You don't just show up.
Just a surprise, out of nowhere, surprise. Okay, FaceTime my boyfriend. No,
I hope you just schooled them a new one.
No, I just left. I couldn't I was really embarrassed that I couldn't actually perform because I was going to go through.
Did your manager call and? This is so funny.
I actually had a talk. I had a talk with my penis when I was leaving. I was like, we discussed this. We were going to do
right.
Yeah, because it failed me. It didn't perform for me, and I was really saddened by it. I yelled at it. So.
Well, I had to rack my brain a little bit on the time because I've said on the show that I haven't hooked up so much on the apps. I just don't do so well on them, and I'm not by any means saying anything because I just told a story earlier with Aaron Singer that I've hooked up with people in sex bars and clubs. So it's not about that. It's just that I don't do so well in them, but. I was racking my brain, but I remember this time years ago that I hooked up with this guy that was like your guy, super, super hot. We had actually gotten together a couple of times before, and he messaged me. It's 3 a.m, I'm home from a bar, and I'm like, oh, it's that hot guy again. Yes, and I can't admit that I'm admitting this on camera, but he had admitted, but he was so hot and the sex before was so good, and he was my one and only time that I had a really hot sex hookup with somebody that I had met on the apps, and he had admitted that he was coming from a sex party where he had already been fucking. And I said, sure, that's cool, come on over. So much, I know, and I mean, I did even make him shower, but it was still, I know, all right, this is a long time ago, people, take your judgmental pants off. And
that
but
a little hot though. I don't
it
know.
was dirty. That's all I got to say. I'm not proud of it, people, but I stand by it. And it was hot. So anyway, while I have you for the last 5 minutes, I played a little bit of this with Aaron Singer, and he was graciously played along. And it's your game. On the best.
I was like, they're playing my game,
yeah. So you're going to play some with me too, because we didn't get to it all. Kodi, Maurice, Doggett, are you ready to play the best and the worst?
The best and the worst. Let's go.
All right. What's the best and the worst of showering together with someone you've had sex with?
Okay, so the best thing is getting to touch and feel and, and take their body in with your hands and your eyes. And the worst thing is sharing the shower. And the water in your face. Water in your face is horrible.
Oh my God, you're right. And actually, if it's like, we live in the New York area, and sometimes it's freezing, or it's just freezing in general.
Yeah.
If you have, like right now, it could be freezing with the AC on. And if you're not underneath the hot water, it's like you almost, here's how I would be into it. If somebody had like the dual shower heads where we could both kind of have and meet in the middle, but actually dual shower heads and then a center shower head where we come to, look at me producing this. Then I would be about that. But don't ask me to come in the shower and you're going to take it all over and I'm standing in the cold. Don't make me stand in the cold.
Yeah.
And then lighting and all that crap. So
I agree with you.
It's just
because one person gets the shower head and the other person has to stand in the cold. That's horrible. What do you think is the best thing about showering together, though?
The best part is the intimacy that you can have if you really are intimate with somebody. The intimacy. Okay, so what
I can see that.
The best, Kodi, Maurice, Doggett, and the worst about 69ing somebody.
So
just go with what's in your head. It's your game, mofo.
I'm producing too. So the best thing is giving pleasure and getting pleasure at the same time. It's kind of like, I don't know if you've been in a sandwich before, but it's kind of like that.
Okay. I have Oreo cookie. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of a worse thing about 69ing. Oh, you don't get to focus on somebody giving you a blowjob. That's the worst thing about it. You don't get to focus because you're focusing on giving somebody else a blowjob. That's it.
Yeah. To me, the best part is it's like you're creating this beautiful figure 8. Again, I'm very visual. Like, to me, it's all about the shot. Well, yeah. Everything to me, my sister is always joking around. Everything's a TV show moment for me. And if you can see my setup here right now, and I'm unapologetic. But the worst thing about it is sometimes if you did that pull up that you probably shouldn't have done and you didn't warm up and you're trying to morph your body to suck his cock and you're like, ow, my head, ow. I guess I could suck it, but ow. It's ow. So it's the ow moment. So anyways, Kodi, Maurice, Doggett, thank you for playing. Wishing you so much fun on the West Coast, but please be safe. Because
yes, always.
I love you so much, and
I love you too. Thank you so much.
And continue having a blast.
All right, thank you so much. So good talking to you. And I'll see you soon.
We will. All right, I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye, love.
Bye.